I kid you not, I've filmed this intro like 20 times before I'm like just deciding to go for it. So if I'm a little awkward at the beginning, just please bear with me. We will get an intro eventually. Hey guys, it's Lena. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome to my little corner over here on YouTube. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing on this little corner, but you know, we're just rolling with that. So back to school season is upon us. I've seen the TikTok ads just berating me about back to school essentials, what's in my bag, like emergency kits. Yes, emergency kits for your bags, back to school outfits, you know, the whole shebang basically. And I thought, you know, might as well hop on the train and give you guys some of my little acquired wisdom as a seasoned high school veteran. Yes, that is right, I'm about to enter my senior year of high school, and I feel like there are some things I wish I knew, like just entering high school, like what I wish my big sisters would have told me. So I'm just gonna give it to you guys instead because I don't have a younger sibling that I can bestow this information on. So let's get on with the advice.
All right, editing Lena here. I'm sorry for, you know, the messiness, but just deal with it. I wanted to add a little warning here. Nothing bad, but I do get a little serious here with just speaking about fightings because I am gosh darn tired of seeing people beat each other up to like literally death. So yeah, I get a little serious here, and if you want to hear this advice you can go ahead, but if not, I'll put a timestamp right here. But again, I think it's something really important that should be said for just the safety of people at school. So yeah, enjoy.
All right, tip number 1, for your safety and for the safety of others, do not get into petty fights. Now listen, I have seen and heard some of the wildest stories ever at my time being in school, and there are times where I think people do deserve to get beat up. But again, for your safety and for the safety of others, do not get into fights. It's just not needed. It shows a lack of emotional maturity. It shows a lack of emotional, I don't know, lack of way of handling your emotions, I guess. I understand that you may be angry and whatnot, but it's just not worth hurting somebody else, and especially putting your life in danger. Like, I've seen people get just absolutely injured and demolished, and like sometimes I worried for their lives genuinely, because some of the stuff you guys be doing to each other in these fights is just so life-threatening. It's just obscure, it's obscene, and it's really sad to see, honestly, because I know you people are better than that. Like, it's just not right. Now I'm all in for some good drama. I have personally been in many parts of drama myself, but I have never wanted to beat somebody up. I might have gotten very angry that I thought I wanted to beat somebody up, but I never would have thought of laying my hands on people. I think we should really think about what we do instead of just taking action of what we think we want to do. And again, just for the safety of others, don't start a fight, especially you people who crowd around fights. Do you know how dangerous that could be? What if you like get into it? You might just be thinking you're just recording, but next thing you know, like, let's say the 2 people fighting or multiple people fighting like bump into you, then you're in the fight. Like, what are you gonna do then? It's just stay out of petty fights. Now I can understand if you are beating somebody up because they're the little scum of the earth. I completely understand that, but again, it's just not worth putting your life in danger too. So take care of yourselves and take care of others around you. Just be aware, you know, and hopefully you guys can work out whatever issues you've got. Maybe not with the other person, but just for your own peace of mind. And speaking of beating up the scum of the earth, point number 2 or tip number 2, don't be the little scum of the earth. Oh my gosh, it's so easy not to be awful to other people. Like the basics, do not walk slowly when you know there are people behind you trying to walk fast. Don't take up too long in the vending machines because you know there's a long line behind you. Or you know, show human decency to the people around you, because at the end of the day we're all teenagers just trying to make it in this crazy world. You know, show a little empathy, show a little decency. Just don't be annoying and don't get other people into fights. Don't start drama for no reason. Listen, I was one of those people. I was was absolute trash when I was a freshman, and if I can save another freshman from being the way I was, that would be great. So don't do what I did, and be a good person, or be a decent person at the very least. Okay, now moving away from those 2 little negative tips, I want to move on to something more positive. So tip number 3, don't be scared to ask questions. Listen, you are new here and you're going to need help from people who've actually had experience. Ask your sophomores, your juniors, your seniors, anything that you are curious about. Ask your teachers, ask your other friends who maybe have known the school a little bit longer, like maybe they had siblings who went to the school, so they've been to the school before. If you never ask questions, you're never gonna open any of the new doors that high school has to experience, you know? And like that's one of the big things. Like personally at my school, there's a lot of activities that any student can do. All they have to do is ask for information or ask what activities are available, and that's kind of the whole point of high school, you know, broaden your horizon. Which brings me to tip number 4, do not limit yourself to what you know. And I mean, it's great to have your old friends from middle school. It's great to still be interested in the things that you have been interested in before high school. But high school is a new door. There are more kids than you have been in contact with before. There are new classes that are being offered to, you know, broaden your career experience, to broaden your career interests. And what are you gonna do if you never touch on them because you're like, no, I like what I like and I'm staying to it? Let me tell you a little personal anecdote of mine. So when I got to high school, all of my friends, they joined a lot of clubs like Beta Club, Tri-M, marching band. They joined a lot of clubs and I just never joined with them. They always asked me to join with them and I was just like, no, I'm not about that, because I wasn't really a club person. I thought I wasn't a club person. I kind of really like staying at home and just doing what I did, like playing real high. And so I kind of kept that tune for a while until like junior year, and I was really bored of what I kept on doing, and I saw my friends doing all these amazing new things, like joining new classes and, you know, meeting different people because of the clubs they were in or activities that they were in. And I was like, hey, I want to do such and such too. So that's how I ended up in Tri-M and National Honor Society and Hope, you know, that club for Hispanics. And I met new people and it was awesome. And I was like, oh my gosh, why have I never done this before? And I learned new things about myself that I wouldn't have otherwise learned if I didn't do new things. So definitely limiting yourself does a lot more harm than good in high school. It kind of keeps you bored and it kind of keeps you caged. And I think it's a good thing to just expand on what you already know. So definitely don't limit yourself. Sorry, you could probably tell that my voice is starting to die out. Like, I could never do presentations for that long for that reason. Like, my voice just sounds like it wants to die or I want to cry. We're speaking of which, story time. So when I was a freshman in my ELA class, we had to do a presentation for poetry. And mind you, this was like the middle or like the beginning of the school year type of like time, I guess, because I didn't really know that many people at this time and I was a little nervous to speak in front of people I didn't know. So I had to do my presentation. I wrote some really great poems. I did like thorough research on like the poets that I was assigned because, you know, I'm a little nerd or whatever. So my presentation, great. But when I had to speak, when I had to give my little speech for my presentation, I was doing great for like the first 2 minutes. I was like, yeah, I can like see random people and I can just pretend like they don't exist. It was great. But then we got towards the end of the presentation and my voice was literally giving out. So oh my god, I'm so sorry. But my voice was already giving out. So by the time I got towards the end of the presentation, I literally had to read like 2 poems. By the time I was reading those last 2 poems, it sounded like I was like about to cry because my voice was like so wobbly and it was giving up and stuff. And I literally just burst into tears by the time like people were clapping because my presentation is over. It was so embarrassing, bruh. I just sat back down and my friend was like, were you crying up there? Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I got over that fear of presentations like after that day because that was so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If anybody remembers that, comment down below. This is for my friends, by the way. I don't want no random weirdos commenting. I have like 2 more tips. So tip number 5, keep your grades up. I cannot stress that enough. That GPA is so hard to get back up if you have a rocky start. Like there are some people who think it's really cool to just skip classes or blow off classes, and they think it's cool to fail classes. I don't know what that's about because I've known some really smart people. I don't know what complex this is. I have met some of the smartest people alive, but I swear when it comes to assignments, it's like they don't even try. Like, I talk to them and I'm like, you know all the lessons, how are you failing this? And they're just like, oh, I don't turn in work, or oh, like I just don't want to do my work. And I'm like, what? You could be getting an easy A practically and you're blowing it off? For what? For what? I want to know. And then they're the same people who have been complaining like now that it's senior year, like, oh, I can't get my GPA up for my dream college, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, maybe because you blew off classes, like you knew the material but you just didn't want to do your work. I'm not here to shame anybody who has put in the work and still maybe failed a class. Like 1 class or 2 classes isn't gonna kill you, but if you're failing all your classes freshman year, come on. You have to get it together. I'm like not saying GPA is the end all be all, but it literally like it's so important for college and it's so important for your diploma. Like that's the whole reason you're here, to graduate and get a degree. Like, I don't know. Just be the type of student that does their work. That's all I beg of you. Just try your best, literally. And last but not least, tip number 6. Honestly, that's all the serious stuff I had to say. High school is literally like live, laugh, and love. Repeat with me. Live, laugh, love. Now, listen, corny? Maybe. But everybody calls this era of high school the golden years for a reason. It's supposed to be fun. It's like your last hurrah of teenagehood. You know, there's a reason why this is glorified in the movies. I'm not like a diehard. I'm not a diehard for high school. Like, I'm not like this is the end all be all. But these years are supposed to have fun. You know, all those corny activities maybe you don't like? Yeah, how about you attend one and you'll realize how much fun you'll really have. I used to hate pep rallies, but that's because I never participated in them. But when I participated in them, I realized how much fun they could be. And that was my biggest op. Sometimes you just gotta stop being your biggest op and just live. Just live. This is the time to build parent lore, you know? Like, build up dad lore, build up uncle lore, build up, you know, when I was your age lore. It's one of those times that are supposed to be fun before you have to become a real adult and enter a world without school, you know? You might go off to college, you might go off straight to work, you might get married straight out of high school. I know some people who've done that. And it's supposed to be just a breather, relaxing. It's supposed to be fun. Nobody really takes it that seriously because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all going to graduate and we're all going in our different directions. And that's really all I have to say for the freshmen. I wish you guys the best of luck on your years of high school. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you have fun, and I hope you find something that you'd really like to do, because that's what it's also about, exploration of who you are before you have to grow up into what you will become. And yeah, if you guys have any advice for the freshmen, this is for my fellow seniors or maybe juniors or sophomores. If you guys have any tips for the incoming freshmen, then just comment it down below. And freshmen, take our advice, because we've been there and we've done that. And just let me know what other videos you guys would like to see. I am planning like a testing back to school life hacks video, and I can't wait for that to come out, but I'm waiting until I actually get into school to do that so I can see if it really works. But yeah, if you guys have any other suggestions, let me know as well. If you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, here are my socials. And I guess I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!